In the 7th grade, my parents got me and my sister iPod shuffles for Christmas. And back then, first of all, do you guys remember the iPod shuffles? They're like these long, skinny little sticks that you just stuck right into the computer. They were really cool. And on the side was engraved, I love technology, not as much as you see. Now, if you're old like me or you live in Preston, shout out to Reggie, you know that that is a quote from Napoleon Dynamite. At the time, it was a little bit embarrassing because I liked Napoleon Dynamite at home, but I wasn't quite ready to like Napoleon Dynamite at school because, 7th grade. But the point is, I love technology. I loved it then. I love it now. And today I'm going to talk about the tech stack that I actually use in my photography business. So welcome back to the CEO Photog Club. I'm your host, Kylie, and this is where photographers come for more. More income, more systems, more freedom without burning out to get it. You're in the right room, so let's talk business. So today, I want to talk about technology because it's a really important part of having a lot of the systems that I have. We're not going to go into each one in a lot of depth because today I just want to give you a little overview of the tech stack that I do use. And then over the next year, we can dive into each one. And if you have questions about them, please DM me so I know which ones you want me to dive into first, because I think we could do full episodes, multiple full episodes on each of these that I use in my photography business. Another thing is, I'm not really going to talk about the tools I use for the photography side. Lightroom, Photoshop, that kind of stuff, blogs, like those things more for the picture parts. Although I can do an episode if that's something that you want. Today I'm going to talk about the tech stack I use to run that side of my business. This is great for all creative type businesses. And I'm gonna share examples of how I use them and what I use them for, and we're gonna give an overview of everything. But just know, none of this is secret software. None of this is super complex. I'm not doing crazy coding or using crazy apps or things that you can't pick up and use today. Everything I use is very simple, very user friendly, very beautiful. I have tried a lot of systems over the years. I used Tave and ConvertKit and some other more complex systems that have a little bit less of the easy to use but more robust automations and things like that. And I let that all and chose things that are just really simple and really user friendly and come with a lot of templates and things to make it just really easy on me. These are tools I use every single day at Kylie Ann Studios, and these are the tools that I coach photographers to use as well. So the number one thing that I use that I recommend that is just absolutely phenomenal is HoneyBook. Like I said, I use Tave. I've tried different ones, Dubsto, 17 Hats. I know Pixieset has a CRM. I've tried other ones and just nothing compares to HoneyBook for me. I've seen other features I love in other programs, but there's nothing that has what I need that HoneyBook has. It's absolutely incredible. So what I use it for is it's the pipeline. It's where everything comes in. So a CRM is a client relationship manager. So it's how I have all of my clients, they inquire from our website through a contact form, and that contact form is the HoneyBook contact form, so it automatically goes into our pipeline. So then anyone who inquires, no matter what webpage they land on, or if they come through DM or message or chat, I'm sending them all through that same contact form. And then I can follow them on the journey of from when they inquire to booking to shooting and all that. So the pipeline is set up where there's inquiries, and then there's a follow-up folder, and then after the follow-up folder, there's a proposal sent, and then contract signed, contract paid, and then there's whatever categories you make after that. So we have one for families and weddings and one's for brands. So the pipeline helps us stay organized, so we know we need to answer these emails right away. We need to follow up with these people. These people are booked, so we need to start planning their session. And it just keeps everything so organized so I know exactly what I need to be doing with each client every time I get on my computer and open up my CRM. I don't have to guess or think, okay, where do I start in my emails? It's okay, I'm going to answer inquiries, then I'm going to quick do follow-ups, then I'm going to quick send little reminders to everyone who's booked and their sessions are coming up. In my CRM, I also have all of my proposals saved. So proposals are my invoice, contract, questionnaire, bundled into one file that I send. So for a 4-hour wedding package, it's one proposal. A 5-hour brand shoot, that's one proposal. And I have all these saved. So if someone comes to me and like, I want a full family session, I don't have to go grab the contract, grab the questionnaire, grab the invoice, grab the payment plan. It's already there. I just have the bundle, click proposal, send. And I have it for every service we offer. And as you know, we offer a lot of services because we are a team and everyone has different specialties within the team. So we have wedding proposals, family, senior, brands, baptisms, mini sessions, all these different proposals that are already saved in there. So it's really easy to book a client. That's where our contracts are housed, our invoices, our payment plans. And then in addition to all that, HoneyBook has some other features that are really awesome, like automations. So if, for example, when someone books, they automatically get a welcome email right away with our welcome guide, with like our what to wear guide, how to prepare for your session. And if a bride books, they automatically get our bride guide. And if a senior books, they automatically get our senior guide. So you're getting the idea. There's some workflows in there so that we're giving all of our clients a good experience right when they book, like a welcome and here's a gift right away. They also have scheduler apps. So you can have like little mini sessions set up or micro sessions set up, and they can just go book them without having to inquire. They can just grab a time slot, pay, sign the contract, check out. So they have a lot of things like that. So my CRM is really, really important. Now, I know not everybody on here is a photographer. If you're a photographer, I highly, highly recommend HoneyBook. And again, I'm going to leave all my links in the show notes because I have coupons for pretty much everything I'm talking about because I am a partner with all of them. Not all of them, but most of them because that's how much I believe in them. If you're not a photographer, you still need a CRM, but it doesn't have to be as robust as HoneyBook. It's going to depend on what kind of business you have. I'm working with a friend right now that was looking at different CRMs, and she has a lot smaller scale of clients. And so it doesn't make sense for her to have HoneyBook. Or, and there's not as many steps, right? And so there's other CRMs, but it is very important for you to have a CRM. So I would look for your industry and see what options you have, and you can definitely reach out to me. But what is amazing about a CRM in general is that everything is in one place and no one is falling through the cracks. We see everyone at every stage and we know exactly what kind of support they need in that stage. And then we have all the templates and emails and everything like that saved in the system, so that's really easy to give them that support in those stages. The second thing in my tech stack is my email marketing system, which is Flowdesk. I am obsessed with Flowdesk. I know people who are using Go High Level or ConvertKit or MadMimi or MailChimp. Come to Flowdesk. Come over to Flowdesk. It is incredible. One thing I love about Flowdesk is that the price doesn't change as your email list grows. That is huge. The other thing I love about Flowdesk is it's so easy to use and they have the most beautiful templates. I came from ConvertKit, which is a lot more just like, I don't know, not polished. It's just like text, right? And they have a lot of automations and stuff. At first, Flowdesk didn't have the automations. Now they do. So you can set up drips. You can set up automated workflows and schedule emails, all the things that you can do on these other emails, but it's prettier and it's simpler and it's going to cost it saved me literally $1,000 the week I changed because of how big my email list was. So I'm not being punished for having a bigger email list. So what am I using Flowdesk for? Weekly newsletters, and we send weekly newsletters to a lot of different segments. So when I say segments with your email list, you can have different segments within your whole list so that not everybody on your list is getting every email. So for me, my seniors and my families and my brands and my photographers are all going to get different emails. I don't want my photographers who are trying to learn from me, like you, to get my mini session list because you don't even live here. So why are you, you don't need to be on that. So I have segmented lists. So I have like my local people, I have my San Diego people, I have our Davis County people, we have our Idaho people, we have our photographers, who signed up for the brand course, the ones who are interested in associate teams, the ones who just want to listen to the podcast. These are even segmented. I have probably like hundreds of different segments so that when I'm sending a list, I'm just choosing the segments where it applies. So I send a weekly newsletter to photographers, to my brand clients, to my family clients, and then my seniors are on a drip. So they get weekly emails kind of once they sign up for the senior email. Anyways, so lots going on the email list. I also use it for promotions or launches, and I'll email just a specific list. Like, for example, I just launched my content club and I sent an email just to my local list of women in business that are local. I have like a headshot list of people that like joined a giveaway one time when I was doing local headshots. So that was really, really helpful. If someone signs up to get on your mini session list, you don't want them to just sit there until you have minis, because maybe you don't have minis for another year. So they get a welcome email right away, and then each week, like different tips on how to prepare, or what looks best in pictures, or here's the best season to plan your pictures in. So it works year round, even if we don't have a mini session right away, so that they're feeling like welcomed and invited. So what I love about Flowdesk is that emails have actually been one of the biggest drivers in booking in our entire business. So I can send out an email and fill up our mini sessions in the fall and in the spring without even posting on social media. So it's a way to collect all those clients from all those years and just send them an email when we have openings, instead of having to try to like go remember how to find those clients again and again on social media or reaching out individually and things like that. So it's really, really helpful. Every business needs an email list. And I will scream that from the rooftop because it is so, so important. Okay, the third thing on my tech stack is a scheduling app. Now, I know I already talked about how HoneyBook had a scheduling app. It doesn't work for quite everything that I want it for, so I also use Calendly. I use Calendly for my coaching calls, any like consultation or calls with like brands that I have. I use it for events like my content club, micro events that I don't want to spend the time putting into HoneyBook, like little tiny events like flag football or Mother's Day minis or preschool signups, things like that. I use it for team meetings. I use it to rent my studio. So there's a lot of reasons that I still use Calendly and pay for Calendly, even though HoneyBook has a scheduling feature. I have used so many scheduling features, and there is no scheduling feature as amazing with the workflows and automations and just simplicity than Calendly. Like, I use it to rent our jet skis. I have like 3 different accounts. It is so worth it. I love it. I recently just set up one of my friends on Calendly as her entire kind of website for now, because she doesn't have one, where they can book a one-on-one appointment with her or a show with her. She's a personal stylist, or a closet makeover. So she could put all of her different services. They could just choose right on her calendar. And then what's the best part about it is they're going to get an email drip right away of like, here's how to prepare, here's what to expect. They have a questionnaire when they're booking, so she has all the information she needs. And then she can set up different reminders throughout. So she doesn't have to constantly be like, who's on my calendar? Okay, I need to text them 2 days before. Okay, now I need to text them today of what to remind them and what to bring. It just kind of helps with keeping everything on schedule and on task. And then you can just focus on your actual service and the actual thing you like to do instead of constantly doing admin work. So it's really, really incredible. Okay, the next thing I have in my tech stack is Pass Premium. Pass is an incredible delivery service. Not only is it just so beautiful to be able to send my galleries, I pay for the unlimited account, so I have every gallery I've shot for the last 15 years still stored in Pass Premium. Some of them are kind of archived, so it's hard to get like the full res. It takes like 24 hours to download because they're really, really old. But I love that I have every single session I've ever taken saved. The other thing that I love is that the galleries are really, really pretty. So like you can have them organized by like, so for example, for a wedding, getting ready, ceremony, family pictures, reception, you can organize them by folder. With our brands, we organize them by month, or like white background versus lifestyle, that kind of thing. You can have them go in order. You could have them go in reverse order. You can have them go like scattered. So it's like random and you can see different things. Another thing is it will automatically take my 5 stars and will put them into a highlights folder at the top, which I love. I can have a pretty background and I can change it. I can change the color. Like, it's just so beautiful to deliver a gallery like that. And it's so easy for my clients because they can just download all the high resolution right onto their desktop, and automatically it will download a print release to go with it as I choose, because I'm a shoot and share photographer. If you don't want to do that, this is also what's awesome about Pass Premium. So we just did this for a gallery that was a private gallery that we didn't get paid for, but we wanted to sell pictures after. So for example, if you went to a sporting event and you took a bunch of pictures like people do on the sidelines, and then you're like, I want to open these up to parents to see if anyone wants to buy them, you can watermark them and mark the gallery as private. And then in order to download the photos, they have to pay per image. So you can set it up like $25 per image or $50 per image. And then after they download it, if they want one or two, you can be like, okay, after one, the rate goes to 20 per image. And after three, the rate goes to 10 per image. And you can make packages, and it's really awesome. So we just did this for a preschool that one of my photographers shot at. She only had about like 15 parents signed up that wanted to pay for pictures, but she had to take everyone's pictures because she was doing it for their yearbook. So she took everyone's pictures and she put one past gallery together for the ones that prepaid and sent those off, and they got a cheaper rate. I think it was like $30 per kid, and they got all the pictures she took for the yearbook. And then she put everything else in a second gallery on Pass Premium, and we did the watermark and we made it private, and then we had the teacher send them out to the ones that didn't pay. And she ended up having hundreds of dollars of orders from those pictures she had to take anyway that she didn't pre-sell, and it was just a really successful way to do it. So I love Pass because it just has a lot of things like that. Another feature that is really helpful if you do minis or if you do brand shoots where you're like limiting pictures, you're like, okay, this package includes 20 pictures. So after the 20 pictures, you can have them, you can download all for X amount or choose your 20. So then they choose their 20 and they're like, okay, well, I have 21, and it'll give them like a per image or per gallery price, and then you can upsell your galleries. Anyways, I need to do a whole episode on Pass Premium because it's amazing and I'm a lifetime user. What's also great is when you email them, like the other day, I wanted to turn on automations for print sales. Oh, that's something I haven't talked about. You can sell all of your prints through Pass Premium. Prints, albums, all of that, and it fulfills itself. You can set the pricing through them. It's amazing. So I wanted it to automatically turn on like a print automation. So like when I sent the gallery, they're also get an email about like you can order your prints through us. And I didn't want to manually do that. And so I emailed them, is there any way to do this? They set it up for me. And now anytime I choose family, it'll automatically send an email about like, oh, and you can order here so you don't order at Walmart. I don't really focus on print sales in my business, but I want to offer that service to people if they want good prints. And I just don't have time to talk about that because that's not really something that's really important in my education. But then I get people being like, oh, I printed this at whatever, Walmart, and look how bad it is. And I'm like, okay, that's because you printed them at Walmart, not because the pictures are bad. And then, it just saves a lot of headache when they print through a real lab. And so that's a really important reason why I love Pass Premium. Okay, enough about Pass Premium. Sounds like I need to do a whole entire episode about all the ways I use it because it's incredible. But the next thing I want to talk about, number 5, is ManyChat. So ManyChat is a DM automation that is connected to your Instagram. So I know we've all used ManyChat. If you follow an influencer and they're like, if you want a link to this tank top, comment tank. And we comment tank, and then we get the little link in our inbox. That is called ManyChat. You comment keywords, and then you get messages or replies back in your DMs. It's a great way to get lead magnets. Through social media. So if you're like, I have this location guide I want to give out, or this what to wear guide, comment guide. They come to your DMs and they're like, okay, now I have the link to this guide. They have to put in their email and whatever. Now you have their email and they get a pretty guide on social media. So it's really helpful for a lot of different things. I use it for webinar signups, mini sessions. I use it for the podcast. You probably commented on my episode and said episode to get this link, right? Like it's something I use all the time. Course signups, growing my email list. It's just really easy. People can comment formula or episode or waitlist, and they receive links and resources right to their inbox. And I don't have to constantly be online after my content is posted to give follow-ups to those call to action. So it's really, really, really helpful. The 6th thing that I use and I talk about a lot, and I'm going to keep talking about, is my AI assistants. So I use ChatGPT and I use Claude. ChatGPT is kind of my everything. Like anything I'm like needing to quick polish emails or ad copy or brain dumps about different things, idea generation, social media content, like anything just quick and easy, like ChatGPT. Now, Claude is kind of my more robust worker. It helps me with payroll. It helps me with overall like researching on Instagram and coming up with new ideas, and same for the podcast. It's helping me with just different, like, bigger projects. I'm sure they both could help with different things, but that's how I'm using them in my business. I love Claude Cowork. It's the desktop version because it will, like, do work for me. Like, I'll be sitting here and it's like moving my mouse and all the things. So it's really, really helpful. It just helps me move faster on a lot of the tasks that I have going on. And if you ask me in the DMs what I'm using them for and you want episodes on specific things, I will do that for you. Okay, number 7, social media planning. I used to use Planoly, and then I use Hootsuite, and then I use Loom or something like that. I can't remember. Anyways, now I am literally just using Instagram. Instagram has all the scheduling capabilities built in to the app. So I get on here and I use edits to edit everything and to, like, idea generate and create my reels, and then I put them into Instagram and I schedule them straight into Instagram. And so I don't have an outside source for that. It's amazing. I use edits and then Instagram. And it's so nice because it helps me stay consistent on my scheduling and all that kind of stuff. Now, number 8, what I'm using for my website and my blogging is Show It Forever. Again, this is one of the things that I've used for almost the beginning of time. I had the original Show It and then Show It Plus. I don't know. I don't think it's called Show It Plus, but the new Show It 2.0. I don't know what number we're on now. I think it's pretty similar to what I re-signed up with later. But I absolutely love Show It. What I love about Show It is it's drag and drop, but on a very, like, high level. You can make really, really incredible designs, and it's connected to WordPress. So it's the best for SEO. You're able to just really create a beautiful website that's also really searchable, which is hard to find in any other situation. I'm not gonna lie. So I have landing pages like a million. I think we are getting like, not errors, but like warning messages that we're like about to have over 100 pages on Show It. That is how many web pages I have. A lot of people have a home, about, pricing, portfolio, contact, 5 pages. We have almost 100 landing pages because of Show It and how incredible it is, and because of SEO. So it's really awesome. Blogging is one of the most highest return on investment things that you can do. It's really helpful in being seen and being found, and it would not be possible for me without WordPress. So I love that Show It and WordPress are married. It's the only way that I could be able to do both. I had Show It before it was combined with WordPress. So just to tell you how important WordPress is, I paid for Show It and I hosted a WordPress blog, and I had them kind of like, the web page, and then it would link to the blog post, but I was like obviously spending way more time on the blogs. So when they came back and married the two, I jumped on board, and I will never leave Show It, because first of all, Show It has always been the most superior web builder, but now that they have also the most superior blog builder, just match made in heaven. It's amazing. Number 9, for Pinterest marketing, I use Tailwind. It is clunky, and if someone's listening here that wants to be an app developer and wants to create something amazing, create a new Pinterest scheduler, because we need one so bad. As far as I know, this is the best option. It's what we use to schedule our pins and to drive traffic to our blogs, and what we use for long-term marketing. It's just very clunky, and it needs some help. It needs some help, but it is incredible because we can take all that work that we blogged over the month and spend one day and go through and schedule all of our pins for the following month. So now those blog posts aren't just sitting on a blog. They're on Pinterest, they're being saved, they're being shared, they're on Facebook, they're everywhere, right? And so that's what's really important about that, like, Pinterest and blog situation. They go hand in hand, and we actually have some exciting thing launching with blog and Pinterest, and so there's going to be a whole episode on that coming soon. Anyways, the last thing I want to talk about is what I use for my community and my coaching, and that is Discord. So I love Discord for my students, for my communities, for coaching support, for my team chat. And I know that this is a gaming app, and I'm sorry, gamers, that we came into your space, but it's free. I can have different subcategories like Slack or like I think GroupMe even has this now, but I can have different subcategories and it just is a different app. So it's not on my Instagram, it's not on my text. It's a different app that I go to check in with my team and my students. That's kind of like, can be more scheduled instead of just always having access to me. So that's been awesome. I know I said that was the last one, but I actually had a couple more that I want to talk about real quick. So file delivery or like just file storage type stuff. I use Google Drive to store all of our team files, our location guides, our editing catalogs, our presets, like everything is stored in Google Drive so that everyone has access to it. And then for like big file transfers like videos, I swear by WeTransfer. It can be expensive as a team, but individually it's incredible. Really, really great for delivering like video files to our brands, or like or big files or things that when people want stuff like sent directly to them and to download instead of like into a gallery. It's amazing. And then just other things that I use a lot. Canva is incredible for designs, graphics, presentations, creating lead magnets, that kind of stuff. And my Notes app. My Notes app is where all my $1 million ideas are hidden. They're not hidden because, I'm an open book, but I use my Notes and Reminders app on my phone that are built into my iPhone every day. Like the shortcut on my iPhone leads to the Reminders app because of how much I use it. It is just absolutely amazing. If I had to start over tomorrow, these are the tools that I'd pay for again. Not because they're trendy, not because they're fancy, because they've helped me simplify my business and buy my time back and keep everyone organized and just really grow a robust, scalable, incredible business. Get on our list below for the club notes because ideas don't change your business, action do. Our meeting is now adjourned.